Hello, Bakerview Church family. Here, Jeff and I are together with you to bring you some updates about our church family life and how we're going to be gathering this fall, a little bit about our mission and what we're talking about. And we thought it would be a good idea to do it kind of face-to-face with you in this format. You know, it's been 6 months since the whole COVID reality settled upon us, and challenging to be sure. God's been at work. The church hasn't shut down at all, even though we've struggled with services and so forth. We've persevered, and with God's help, we're going to keep moving on and press forward. And so that's what we're going to talk a little bit about.
Yeah, in the meantime, we've had these experimental gatherings in August. For 4 Sundays, we've gathered for 2 times, 9 and 11. And why we called it experimental had more to do with just seeing if we could actually host a service here with all of the guidelines, the health protocols and that kind of stuff in place. And the experiment was successful, and we were fairly pleased with how things went. Thank you for all those of you who came. We've come to the conviction that it's given us some confidence to move forward in a very similar way for the fall. So that's what our plan is. And the goal for these gatherings, for our Sunday morning gatherings as Bakerview, is to bring Bakerview into one room to have one common experience.
Yeah, and so that's what we're thinking about during this season of our church's life, while we're under these COVID-related restrictions. Anyway, it's the longing of our hearts to bring our church family together in one room. Now, Bakerview has a wonderful history of varied worship styles that have been rich and has allowed us to speak our heart languages one with the other, which has been a wonderful experience. But as your pastors, we're sensing in this day that there needs to be a focused coming together in a certain way. So that's why we've chosen to have our 9 o'clock and 11 o'clock gatherings be the same. And to be a common experience of worship, of teaching, of fellowship together. Now that said, we're not doing away with the longings of our hearts for sure. And some things are beginning to percolate, and some things are getting on the calendar already. Some of you may have heard about something called Evensong, which will be more of a liturgical style of gathering of sorts. And some of you maybe have heard already about this initiative called Morning Melodies. It's not exactly Seniors Cafe, because we are not serving food and that sort of thing together, but it's a time for us to gather to focus more on the great hymns and music of the faith. And who knows, there might be a praise and worship night coming sometime too, which we would love. But coming back to that Sunday morning experience, we're hoping that our church will rally together and say, yes, this is our church, and we want to gather together in one way, in one room at the same time, as much as we're allowed to during this COVID season.
Especially during this COVID season, which has placed certain kind of limitations on us, but we would rather see this as an opportunity. And so that's why we're leading in this way, at least for this fall, and of course, we'll evaluate as we go along and continue to keep you updated for the future.
So keep your eyes peeled to the website, the e-news about the registration process, which will be coming out shortly. We'll set it up for these for the fall season, and you'll be able to attend. Probably not every Sunday with our numbers and the capacity that we have. We hope that people will be able to come quite regularly, but not every Sunday, so that everyone gets a chance. Now, this is dependent upon how everyone responds with registration.
Exactly.
We've chosen to have 2 services based on the type of registration that we had in the summer. Hopefully in fall it'll be a little more, but if all of a sudden we're getting sold out all the time, we'll consider how we could add another gathering or increase our capacity in some way.
Right, and a special invitation to those of you who are watching this video who are not a part of the Bakerview family,
Yeah.
never been here before, and you're kind of wondering, could I be a part of that? Yeah, of course you can. We want to make space for you. If you're a Columbia Bible College student, we especially
Yeah.
want to make space for you. We know that we are in close proximity to your campus.
Yeah.
And so just be in contact with us, register. We will do our best to facilitate this for everyone or as many people as we can.
That's a shout out to CBC.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You are our school.
Absolutely, for sure.
Kickoff is going to begin September 20th, Kerry.
Yeah.
And so look very closely. It's not this Sunday, but the following. And I guess it depends on when you're watching this video. But kickoff is going to get us going on a teaching series called Mending the Divides. It's inspired from the book called Mending the Divides by John Huckins and Jer Swigert. And so our conviction or our discernment was that we would return to a series of messages that readdresses the mission of the church, in particular when it comes to peacemaking. Peacemaking in our homes, in our neighborhoods, globally. When it comes to conflict, conflict's not the bad thing. It's how we respond to conflict that is potentially the bad thing. And when it comes to the church, diverse opinions come with deeper convictions than in many other places.
Right. These things matter to us.
Right. And so instead of escalating the conflicts, might we be people of the gospel of Jesus Christ, people of peace, that when we enter these situations, we actually bring resolve, bring forgiveness, bring a certain kind of mending spirit, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So we're really excited to jump into this series. You can follow along on our website with some follow-up questions that are going to be coming out after each of the sermons. Just go to the Sunday menu and click the follow-up questions button, and you'll be able to see all of that and a little bit on some other resources that you can take advantage of. Some of you I know like to read, and so we'll have some book recommendations for you.
Absolutely. Yeah, so we're looking forward to this the series of messages that we'll have an anchor passage for each one, and we'll engage in some good conversation about this super important topic. Eventually, of course, leading to Jesus, who is our peace.
Yeah.
The great mender, if you will.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And kids, if you're listening, stay tuned. There's a memory verse coming.
Oh, yes. With actions, perhaps?
Yes.
Of course there will be. Right on. Hey, let me take this opportunity to thank you, Bakerview folks, for how you have been giving generously over these challenging months. It has been a challenge over these months, to be sure. We've had to make some hard decisions that have really pulled very deeply in our hearts, and yet you've been faithful, and we're looking forward and excited about going forward into the fall. But we know we can't do it without your generosity, and we know that you're being faithful stewards of what God has given you, and we want to be faithful stewards of that together for sure. So thank you again for giving, for being obedient in giving, and being joyful as you support God's mission through Bakerview Church, and the many other things that many of you support as well. We're not unaware of how generous people are. So let's keep working together, and our hands are on the plow, and we're looking forward to this fall season together. If you have any questions about what we're saying here, other things in the life of our church, please send some emails. If you can find our cell phones, which are available, they are church phones. Please feel free to be in touch, texting or calling as well. Would love to engage with anyone who would like to chat about this or other things. It's important for us to be with one another as best as we can in these days.
Look forward to engaging with you, with each other, in allegiance to Jesus.
Indeed, together. All right.
See you.